They're building something huge in Texas. They're building something they won't explain. 3 rockets a day? Alien ship? Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Engineering Today. And I hope you're all having a great time. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation quietly confirmed it. SpaceX had filed plans for the Gigabay project, 700,000 square feet of industrial space. That's roughly the size of 12 football fields. The cost is $250 million. Construction will begin right away and stretch deep into next year. At the same time, on-the-ground reports began surfacing. Crews were already prepping the ground, laying down gravel and geotextile membranes, the kind of thick woven fabric used to stabilize shifting soil, like rolling out bandages on soft earth, prepping the land for something heavy, something massive. Just days earlier, Starbase had seen the destruction of both a Starship and its booster in a violent failed test. For most companies, that would mean a halt, an investigation, silence. For SpaceX, it was a pause no longer than a breath. Then, expansion. SpaceX wasn't just building rockets anymore. They were building the machines that build the rockets. And it wouldn't stop at Texas. Musk revealed that another Gigabay was already being planned for Florida. 2 launch pads, 2 cities, one singular obsession – speed. For him, the real measure of success wasn't how many rockets launched this year. It was how quickly humanity could settle on Mars. Every lost day, every failed test, it wasn't just a setback, it was a delay in our species' escape plan. But here's the part no one saw coming. Starbase isn't just a launch site anymore, it's become a company town, a self-contained world built around one goal – building the biggest thing on Earth to leave Earth entirely. And as the gravel settles and the outlines of Gigabay begin to take shape under the South Texas sun, one question grows louder with every new layer of steel. What happens if they actually pull this off? It's been more than 10 years since SpaceX started developing the Starship. The goal was bold – build the world's most powerful and reusable rocket to take humans beyond Earth, to the Moon, to Mars, and maybe even further. SpaceX had already cracked this idea with Falcon 9, this rocket system that had over 470 successful launches. But Starship? Starship was a whole new beast. SpaceX hasn't shared exact numbers, but each test flight is rumored to cost somewhere between $50 to $100 million. That's just the money. The emotional toll, the environmental damage, the public trust, those are harder to measure. The Apollo program's Saturn V launched 13 times, failing just once. The Soviet Soyuz rocket had 32 launches, with only 2 failures. Even Falcon 9 has had an astonishing track record, only 2 failures out of nearly 500 flights. Starship? 9 attempts, only 3 partial successes. Most would expect caution at this point, a slowdown, a pause. But Musk didn't blink. Within hours of the most recent crash, he posted on X. The next test flight? Just 3 to 4 weeks away. That's where things stand. 3 failed flights, environmental damage, legal warnings, and no brakes in sight. Recently, a test gone horribly wrong. Ship 36 was supposed to ignite for a routine static fire. Instead, it left behind a scorched crater and a mangled testing site. The Massey facility, the only dedicated stand for these tests, was crippled. Static fires were off the table. The entire Block 2 fleet, Ship 37 and Ship 38, suddenly had nowhere to go. That's when SpaceX did something only SpaceX would try. They looked at Pad 1, the main launch pad designed for full-stack launches, not static fires, and they said, what if? No one expected it. Pad 1 wasn't built for this. But then, like whispers before a storm, new support structures quickly appeared. Supports normally used only to brace engines during intense firings. They reduce vibrations that could tear the ship apart, like shock absorbers beneath a fire-breathing monster. Then came the real twist. SpaceX started removing clamps from the booster hold-down arms, the parts that cradle the giant first stage of the rocket before launch. These are bolted down for safety. Removing them isn't risky, but doing so now, right when the company had no working test stand, that raised eyebrows. Was this just maintenance or something more ambitious? SpaceX wasn't just improvising, they were repurposing Pad 1 for a task it was never meant to handle. But this raises a dangerous question. How do you feed fuel into a ship that was never meant to be fueled from here? In a normal static fire, a system called a quick disconnect does the work. It's like plugging a hose into a pressurized tank, but far more complex. Supercooled propellants flow in. The timing, temperature, and pressure must be perfect. That system is designed for boosters, not for Starship's upper stage. And yet, SpaceX have been testing the pad's tank farm for days. Vents hissing, subchillers roaring, cryogenic liquid flowing. The entire pad seemed alive with new purpose. This wasn't routine, this was preparation. The chiller system, which cools propellants before transfer, runs faster for Super Heavy. Starship needs a gentler touch. If the flow is too fast or too cold, the ship could crack from thermal shock, so they must be rewriting how the system works on the fly. But here's where things get even murkier. To complete this transformation, SpaceX needs to either build an adapter to connect the ship's fueling system to the booster's quick disconnect, or completely bypass it with something new. On the other hand, a strange object is racing towards the sun, fast enough to cover the distance between New York and London in just over a minute. It's not a satellite, it's not a comet we've seen before, and it's not from here. That object, now named 3I Atlas, wasn't even supposed to exist, at least not in our part of the universe. But sometime between June 25th and June 29th, a quiet telescope network in South Africa and Hawaii picked it up. At first, it looked like a distant speck. Then came the velocity numbers. Over 60 kilometers per second. That's faster than any human-made spacecraft. And it wasn't slowing down. It wasn't circling the sun like our planets do. It was cutting across the solar system, like someone barging through a room without stopping to say hello. This is only the third time we've seen something like this. The first was Oumuamua back in 2017. People thought it might be alien tech. It wasn't, just a weird-shaped rock. The second was Comet Borisov in 2019. That one had a classic icy tail, also natural. But this one, 3I Atlas, is different. It's bigger, stranger, and moving with purpose. NASA confirms it came from beyond our solar system. The official word is interstellar. That means it was born far beyond the sun's gravity, probably near another star, maybe dozens or even hundreds of light years away. It's not orbiting us, it's just passing through, like a silent visitor that doesn't plan to stay. But here's what's truly unsettling. It's heading straight for the inner solar system, blazing toward the sun. Scientists estimate it will swing just inside Mars' orbit before slingshotting away forever. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting. And kindly provide your valuable feedback in the comment section. This will help us to improve.